Hey friends, hey family, welcome to yet another exciting episode of Glassdoor Gundi. I'm your host, Ayanda, aka Gundi, and I appreciate you so much for tuning in. So, I have a very special guest with me in studio today, literally a burst of sunshine. Her name is Lesego Khoza. She is an actress and a South African YouTuber. Guys, please help me welcome Miss Khoza. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm well, thanks.
Are you good?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining me on this gloomy day.
Thank you for having.
Guys, we look like this, but outside it's gray. Okay, so we are bringing the sunshine in here. And how's your week been?
The week has been good. Recovering because I had the most hectic week last week. So I've basically been recovering, made it to the gym yesterday. So I think, when you make it to the gym, it's
then it's a good week. As long as, I feel like if you can hit like Monday and Tuesday at the gym and then like it sets like a good pace for the rest of the week, even if you miss like a Thursday or Friday, as long as you go those 2 days, then it's fine. Okay, so I would just like to get to know you a little bit more. So can you just tell me about where you grew up? I know you grew up in Soweto. How was that like for you?
It was beautiful. I feel I had a little bit of a challenging childhood, just like any other child. We all have challenges in life.
Yes.
But it was a pretty beautiful childhood. I grew up in all parts of Soweto. I remember I was saying on set last week that, actually, I grew up all over Soweto. When I was born, my mom was living in Piri. We lived in Piri for a short time, and my parents soon got married and they bought a home in Dobsonville. We lived in Dobsonville. Actually, I didn't move in with them at first. I actually stayed with my grandma and grandfather in White City.
Yes.
And I used to go to school in Ildos, which is not that far from White City. And I remember this one time, transport didn't come. And then my grandfather walked me to school.
Yeah.
And we passed Khoza Park and we played. I remember I probably got to school at around 12.
Because you are fake.
Yeah. And he never rushed me.
Yeah.
And it just felt like a whole excursion.
Yeah.
For the day.
Don't you find that grandparents are so much more lenient when it comes to their children? They're not like the actual parents, eh?
No.
Because, if it was your mother or your father, they probably wouldn't let you do that.
No. They would have even, blindfolded me when we were passing towards the park. So I don't see
the park.
Yes, I don't see the park. But they're quite lenient on their grandchildren. I even see with my child that, oh my God, she can get away with anything when she's at grandma.
Yeah, I see it also with mine as well. I'm like, how? You never used to do that for me. I never used to have marshmallows for dinner, but now it's okay. I guess that's the beauty of just like parents and children and things like that. Okay, so you are born and bred in Soweto, and you obviously did acting, right? How did that come about?
So acting has always been in me. I remember I went to a school just for grade 8 called John Orr.
Oh, yeah.
And when I was at John Orr, they asked what extracurriculum things do you want to do? And I asked if drama was available. And they were like, yeah. And I did drama. And then my mom moved me to a school called Pace Commercial Secondary to finish my high school, which is in Soweto, at Jabulani. At the time when I was there, apparently it was a semi-private school, meaning that we still pay for school fees, right?
Yes.
Because most of the other schools in Soweto, you didn't need to pay for school fees. Amazing school with amazing facilities. And I remember they didn't have a drama department at the time. So I joined the choir with my friends. But as soon as a new teacher joined in, and he was so enthusiastic about drama, and he was in the industry at that time somewhat, and teaching was just that, I guess the backup career for him that ended up being the career.
Yes.
But he brought two things that he was passionate about, which is teaching as well as doing drama. So we did drama. It was amazing with him for so many years. I remember when I was 17. 17 was it? Yeah, 17 or 18. 17, grade 11, he brought in a agency.
Okay.
So we got signed to an agency.
Yeah.
And then at like 18, I booked my first ad.
Yeah.
And that was like a thing that cemented.
I feel like it's always like so important when you are in a profession, like if you're a teacher, to really like extend yourself and go above and beyond. Because I mean, he didn't have to bring in that agent to come and scout you guys. And look now, you've became an actress.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's great. So I would like to know, if you didn't catch the acting bug, what would you be doing? Like, what other profession would you be in?
I don't know, but probably PR, project management, marketing. Probably I'd do those things.
Sounds very people-y.
I'm a people's person. Like even when I was in high school, I was like part of the Representative Council for Learners.
Yes.
And I used to do PRO, which is, being the public relation officer of the team. And that means I used to do announcements at school for every assembly. If anything has to do with the learners, trust me.
Yes.
I'm the girl they take to the front. I used to MC every event, the Valentine's, Mr. and Mrs. What, high school, what.
Yeah.
All the events at school were MC'd by me. So I was very peoply.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I know you made an appearance on shows like either Queen. You were also on a Netflix production. How was the Queen, and where's the acting now? What are you currently busy with now?
So the first time I got to be on the Queen, I got to be in a scene with the late Ndate Shona, which was so amazing because he was so open. I remember at that time I did not have a lot of set experience because I was such a theatre person for so many years. I just only did theatre, and I really wanted to immerse myself into screen. And the Queen is one of the first sets that had given me an opportunity to just.
And that's a big production for one of your first.
It is. So it was such a humbling experience that God had blessed me with. So that was nice, being on sets for the first time. Then I got to do things like Netflix. I got to do How to Ruin Christmas, which was the first one, and I did it with my husband.
Yes.
At that time, they were shooting in COVID, so they wanted a real couple to play a couple because we couldn't get closer together, right?
Because of the restrictions. Yeah.
And that's how we got cast. And then I got to also do Justice Served. I played a character called Umbali, a journalist paying tribute to exactly the character I had on the Queen, which was like a journalist. So,
yes.
Playing a journalist again was just like, oh, okay. So I'm kind of getting into the kind of brief and character roles I get easily cast for. I guess people, when they look at me, the first thing they think, oh, she could be a journalist, right? So
it's that PR thing that you mentioned.
You're right, it is, actually. Yeah. It is. So I got to be on Netflix. I took a break to have a baby.
Yeah. That's always a good excuse.
It is. When like we're in a tough industry, I was on a break before I even took a break.
Yeah.
So it was nice for my mental health to say I'm taking an actual active break to have the kid, which made life much simpler because now I'm not thinking about booking the role. I'm not thinking about so many auditions that I attended that I didn't book. Having to explain myself constantly when people say you're an actor. Where did we see you? Then you just have to say, and it's not recent shows that people have seen, so they can't exactly go, oh yeah, you were whoever.
Yeah.
But I booked something this year on a mainstream TV, mainstream channel, which will be debuting very soon. So look out for that.
We're excited for that one.
Thank you. It's a spicy short role. I play a lawyer. I can say that much. I play a lawyer on that show. It's quite a popular show, so I'm excited to make an appearance on that show. I just recently shot something. It's a TV movie as well. I think that's all I can say for now. It's a TV movie. I play a different role. I think I can say I play a cop.
Okay.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of active scenes that I had to do. Luckily, I'll go to the gym. So an actor must prepare. An actor must always be at the gym.
And apparently you must always stay ready.
Always.
Like, because that role can come anytime. 1 minute
100%.
you're a lawyer, and next minute you like a cop.
An Olympian.
Exactly. And now you must be ready.
You must always be ready.
Sure. Okay, so you touched on something a little bit earlier when you mentioned that you actively decided to take a break, and it just happened to coincide with motherhood. But you did say some actors in the space and some creatives don't have that opportunity necessarily, and then it leads to things like depression and feelings of like just not making it when you're not booking roles or whatever. But you did something interesting. I think it was during that time, and then you went into YouTube. Why did you go into YouTube, and was it because the acting was a bit slowing down and you still wanted to include us? Because let me tell you something, your YouTube channel, it feels like we live with you, because you comment on the things that you watch and on the things that you've been in. So it kind of feels like you're still acting and we're watching you on TV, like with you. So why did you go into YouTube, basically?
Okay, firstly, I went into YouTube. It's not, the acting and it taking time had nothing to do with it. Just to start that off. The reason why I went to YouTube was that in 2019, I was doing a lot of shows and I was touring, doing theater shows at the time. And one of the shows that I did was Tiny Dokoloshi, and it had a run at the Peter Tureen is at the Monte Casino.
Okay.
As they cute theater, I'd say boutique theater, because they have the theater, which is their big theater. And we had a good run there. And every time when we're not doing anything as actors, like maybe after our warm-up or during rehearsal time or whatever, a friend of mine at the time was like, why don't you have a YouTube channel? So I was like, why? And he's like, every day you tell us stuff that you did with your boyfriend, who's not my husband. He was my boyfriend at the time. So every day, so me and my boyfriend, we went to, so it's like a lot of things of me and my boyfriend went through. So he's like, why don't you film that and have it on YouTube? And I was like, that's crazy, because we do a lot of interesting things together. So I was like, yes, I'm going to do a YouTube channel. And because COVID happened around the same time, there was not a lot of things that I was doing with my boyfriend. So I decided to just make it at that time about my acting journey, like going to auditions. There's some points where I was crying my eyes out, coming back from an audition that didn't go well. And at that time, and then, life changes. After 2020, 2021, it was now my marriage journey, not so much my acting, because at that time I was not acting much. So I couldn't give like acting content. So it was like now wifey content. So it just changes over time, but I enjoy doing,
but I guess I get a feel that you take us through life with you, the journey of life. So from your acting, through marriage, through motherhood, which is always nice to experience. And shout out to that friend who gave you that idea, by the way.
Shout out to Lucy. So
How do you think your friends would describe you? Like, as what kind of a person? What kind of a friend are you?
Dude, it's so crazy. They have only good things to say about me. I'm saying this because like I went to a talk recently and they were like, send this message to about 4 or 5 family members, friends, it can be your spouse, whoever, 3 words that can describe you best, right? And I got like honest, she's honest, loving, and loyal.
Okay.
So most of those were the 3 most words that came up to describe me. So I think that's how I'm
Which are good descriptions. I mean, it's hard to find honest people these days. Okay, so you, like you mentioned, you live a very busy life. You do acting, you do YouTube. And I just want to know, how do you like stay grounded as a person? What centers you? I know that you are very in tune spiritually. So maybe I could ask you, like, where are you spiritually? Is that what keeps you grounded and things like that? Yeah.
Spiritually, I'm with God.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm with God.
Yeah.
What keeps me humble is God, is the book of Corinthians. I always lead with love. And firstly, I always ask God to send me or to work through me, for me to be a vessel for his work and for his children that kind of need him. Because, most of the time growing up, we are taught to pray and listen to God, but what is the voice of God? So I believe the voice of God is comes also in human form to the people that have allowed themselves to be vessels of his word, to be vessels of his I'd say his ways. I'd say. So for me, I'm always like I'm not the type, as much as I like to talk to people, I'm not the type to stand on the pulpit and preach, because I've been the kid in church for so many years who cannot hear or understand, who the message never belonged to me because it just didn't land to me, right? So I believe in saying the gospel and being the salt of the earth one-on-one, right? So I believe in my testimonies. If I engage with you in human form, you will believe that God can come down to our level and be human enough for me to receive the message that he is sending to me, right? So most of the time I'm like, God, send the messages through me for your people. That's why I like to talk to people and talk about how God has been amazing in my life, and talk about how God has always held my hand, even through dark times where I feel like, now it's just, I don't know, I'm in a hole. And I find most of the time when I'm in that hole, I pray a lot. I'm more disciplined in terms of the word and my relationship with God. And I always thank him every time I come out of those situations, because I'm like, you are my best friend. You were just right here. So it's nicer to go through those moments in lives because you're very close to him at that time. So that's what keeps me humble. And it's just the love that God gives me, and what he wants me to do.
No, I love that, because I think it's also important for people to know Uguti, God's word can be delivered in many forms. Like you said, you don't necessarily have to be standing on the pulpit. Sometimes the message can just permeate through your YouTube channel. I mean, you could film a get ready with me or a shopping haul, and you don't know whose life you are changing or who you're just making feel better at that moment in time.
Amen.
And you reference the book of Corinthians quite often. And I actually watched an episode that you did with your now husband, Defining Love. And in that, you mentioned that, because I'm just going to divert a little bit to love a little bit. And so you mentioned that you thank him for accepting Jesus into his life. And that really stood out for me. So I would just like to know, why was that important for you? Why do you think it's important in someone's spiritual journey to accept Jesus for themselves? And also, why do you think it's important for Jesus to kind of be the foundation in a relationship?
Okay, so when I said that, and I get that a lot in interviews, so when I said that, my husband was raised Catholic. So he had known God. He knows God, he knows Jesus. But, we get to that point in our adult life where our parents stop spoon feeding God to us. Now
we have to make the decision
who God is to us as an adult and as a person. So I thanked him for finding Jesus at that time as an adult. You understand? Because for me, that was a significant moment in our relationship. It's what made our relationship to be what it is today. Because we devoted both our lives to God. We both said we're going to do this in a godly way. Right? So that was important for me, because Jesus is so important for me. Jesus as a symbol of love, as a symbol of forgiveness, especially forgiveness, because you can go through this life so bitter about a lot of things. But forgiveness helps you, right?
Yes, it's for you.
It's not about the other person or anything. There's so many things we could forgive in life, situations that we've been in and not contributed by other people. Sometimes you're not forgiving people, you forgiving situations that you faced. Sometimes you forgive yourself as well. You understand? I think people nowadays, it's more important to forgive themselves when they say, I forgive myself,
But they don't
run away from accountability.
Yes.
Like, hey, I forgive myself. No, you need to do right by people, guys.
Yes.
Already we all suffering. There's no one better than you, guys. There is no one. God said heaven is there. When we die, we go to heaven. Not that we are in heaven right now.
Yeah.
We all have our own challenges. We're all living weird lives in our own way. So my problems are not the same as your problems. That doesn't mean I don't have any. You understand?
True.
I have my own problems. So be nice to me.
Yes.
Be nice. Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. And I mean, people from the outside life would look into your life and they see this girl and they see your journey. You started out as a boyfriend and girlfriend, you got married, and now you have kids, and everything was done in like holy matrimony in a traditional the traditional biblical way. But I mean, you're human. We all have flaws. We all come across problems and things like that. Do you recall, or would you like to share a time in your life where you just felt extremely vulnerable or like a challenging situation in your life that you can recall? How was that like for you?
Sheesh.
I know it's a very heavy-handed question.
It is. I think a challenging time is also like I did on my channel my labor story. That was so challenging in life. But it's also kind of difficult or challenging to take it as a challenge when you like
the blessing that came out from
not
that.
even the blessing, when you have God's love, when you have God's peace in you, that peace that surpasses all understanding, that to you it might not have been a challenge, but it is a challenge.
Yeah.
It's something that I had to face that was difficult to go through.
Yeah.
But the peace just makes it lighter. I don't know. God's peace just makes it lighter. My labor was quite heavy. I had a 24-hour labor process where I was in pain for 24 hours until my husband decided to tell the midwife and the doula that I don't think my wife is going to be capable of naturally pushing this kid out. She's exhausted. She's just not okay.
Yeah. And I'm sure at that time the baby is also exhausted.
The baby is also exhausted. I'm exhausted. I'm even speaking things that are not supposed to be spoken in that time. I'm like, kill me.
Because it's just so painful.
Die. Yeah, because I don't understand why must I just be okay with this pain.
Yeah.
Because for me, I had to, it's an injection that they give you. I don't know if it's inducing, but it's an injection that they give you for contractions. I had to be given that injection twice. And it makes the contractions so painful. At some point, you know how contractions apparently can give you a break?
Yeah.
Like they come and then after 5 minutes, that's okay. It stops. You find you can laugh. I did not have...
Yours was just like, why?
And it's just getting more and more painful. So that was very challenging for me. And having my child in the NICU for a few days, about 9 days, just going home and coming back. So that was a bit tiring and a bit challenging for both of us because we just wanted our child home to hear that she's fine. She's not in a life-threatening situation. She's just home in our arms and we just have to take good care of her. So that for me was something that was very, very challenging. And as much as we did things by the book, we first didn't. We lived in sin. For years. Guys, don't do it.
We're not here to judge.
No, not at all. But, not at all. But we lived in sin for so many years and we were just like so embarrassed. But in our heads, we were like, we're working through it.
Yeah.
We promise we won't like make babies out of wedlock and whatever. We just really, really enjoy spending time together. I think a lot of people see us.
And it shows. It shows. Like you can see when people are best friends.
Yeah. So we needed to be together. And our parents were very understanding of that situation, weirdly so. But I think they could just see that these kids just love each other. And our promise was to, because one thing is that even though we lived in sin, we didn't lie. We were truthful about what we were doing and what we didn't make promises like we're gonna get married or anything like that. But because we didn't want the pressure. We also understand that we are artists. We didn't make any promises like that. But when we were ready to, take the step, we took the step. God said yes.
And I think you guys had like a common goal and a common vision, which is always important, especially in relationships. There's nothing worse than when you want this thing and the other person wants that thing. It's just it doesn't gel well.
No.
Okay, no, that's great. So speaking about your motherhood and your the birth story and things like that, where are you now in terms of motherhood? How's that going for you? I know we were talking outside and we're like, you don't want any sharp edges around and things like that.
That girl has a weird dance move. People dance like this. She like circles and then she gets dizzy, and you understand if there are things in her way, she's going to fall. But motherhood has been amazing. I don't want to lie. It feels like it was meant to be, and it's time. And also because of the time I did it. I really did motherhood when I was really, really ready. Really ready, like financially so, supportively so. That's even a word. So everybody in our lives as well had waited for so long that everyone was even ready for us to have a child, ready to babysit and stuff like that. You know, when you see us at events, you know, there's someone babysitting, and it's a family member all the time. So motherhood has been amazing because I've been ready for every challenge.
And you were blessed with a beautiful daughter. I mean, I'm also a girl mom. That's awesome. So I just like to know, like, let's just imagine a few years now, your daughter is in her preteens, whatever, and she's doing some sort of show and tell or presentation at school, and you just happen to be the subject matter. How would you like her to describe you to other people? As what kind of a mother or a person would you like her to say you are?
I want her to represent holistic living, because her mother represents holistic living, in that she is balanced between work, love, and life.
Oh my gosh.
I never want my success. I don't want it to be so high that I do not have time to spend with my children. I've always seen myself as a mom that's going to be there 90% of the time. With their kids. Like, I want a job that I visit the job then visit home.
Exactly. You don't like, it's not your life. It's
no, not at all. Not at all. I want my kids to be so close to their parents that they don't necessarily feel like financial success is success in life. I feel like holistic living should be what success is in life. Equally balanced with Christ and going to church. I don't want my life to be so busy that my kid seldomly visits church or it has to be taken to church by nanny, stuff like that. I want us to have days where we all go to church. My husband's family, my in-laws, we all go to the same church.
All right.
His sister-in-law, his sister-in-law's husband, kids, everyone. We literally, when we get there, we like, even the churches like that, we like a family of 6, 10. It's like a family church. People get there with like 10 family members. We all sit, we in the same rows. It's just like, I want that kind of lifestyle for my child. Also still achieving my dreams, right? Because I want her to know that she's capable of going for her dreams and dreaming beyond limits and stuff like that. So, yeah, I want her to look at me and say, Mama did that.
Yeah.
Mama went for stuff and was not afraid to do stuff.
So what I'm getting is that you still want to be present, but you still want her to see that you ventured out and did what you had to do. Okay, no, that's great. And how have you managed to keep it together with a 1-year-old? Your sister locks are popping, the face. I honestly, I think you did a video about your sister locks there. How did you get that color? Is that the color of your natural hair, or is it like dye that you mix or something?
So I colored this hair.
Yeah.
My natural hair is much darker brown.
Yeah.
How do I keep it together? A good support system.
Yeah.
Although I'm at home, my husband didn't say, okay, because you are home, you will take care of the cleaning of the baby. And no, he was just like, bro, we're going to get you someone who's going to help you.
Yes.
Who's going to take care of the baby the whole day. Doesn't matter that I'm there or anything like that. I spend an hour with my kid every day and we just like learn stuff.
Yes.
He's schooling.
Watch Rachel a little bit.
Yeah, and we do those things and we take a walk and then we go to the pool. We go swim because she takes swimming lessons as well. So I have, my husband has granted me the opportunity to have a lot of time also for me. Like in the morning, he will get the baby ready. So I don't need to worry about makeup, baby, him and right?
Yes.
He will take out clothes. He believes in letting the baby choose what she wants to wear. And he's been doing this since she was 6 months. So literally the kid chooses what they want. Well, with 2 options. They don't just open the wardrobe and say, which one do you want to wear? No, it's just 2 options and then whatever she grabs first at that time, that's what she's wearing. Yeah. So I have a lot of help. Although he works a lot, he still has time for his family. So he kind of helps me a lot. That's how I'm so put together. Going to gym as well, keeping myself sane and active.
And that's important. I think a lot of new moms, when I was a new mom, well, I still am kind of. I'll consider myself a new mom until she's 18.
Yeah.
I struggled with asking for help or like just wanting to slow down. And you need that. Like if you need to send the child to daycare just so that you can sit and do nothing, do that.
Do it.
Yeah, because you really, really need that. So you shouldn't like literally like run yourself down because of this new mom journey.
No.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's interesting. So, I mean, thank you for coming. I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to share. We're looking forward to the new TV movie that you have coming.
Yes.
We're keeping up with you on your YouTube channel, on your TikTok and your Instagram. Yeah. So yeah, it's really been great. So
thank you so much. I just want to say thank you so much for having me. And on that thing you were saying just now with the mommies and them, just guys, treat yourself like it's kind of like a groot man.
Please, yes.
Please, okay? You treat yourself like you can't do it all. Don't do it all.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah, and you're not alone. We're all in the same boat. But yeah, thanks, Glassjaw Gundi family. That's all from me. Hopefully we'll see you again next time. Bye.